We're gonna commence our City Council Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority Special Meeting. The agenda, Wednesday, August the 8th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pacheco,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Escobar,
Here.
Councilmember Hodge,
Here.
Councilmember Real,
Here.
Councilmember Hurtado is absent. We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Campos, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
If you can repeat after me. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Dale.
Mission statement. Together we pledge to provide effective and efficient services, courteous and respectful manner, to improve the quality of life for all in our unique border community. Viva Calexico.
Thank you. We have an approval of the agenda, please.
I will approve it.
Second.
Mr. Mayor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
City Clerk, can you read the?
This is the time for the public to address the council on the special agenda items only. Mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council.
Thank you. As we only have one item on this agenda, and it's the local initiative measure establishing a tax on cannabis business operating within the city of Calexico. And we have a few individuals wishing to speak. We have a Mr. David Romero.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, council members, and citizens. David Romero, 1290 R. Santos Street. What I wanted to say was that I am for the industry of, I know it sounds kind of cliche, marijuana, cannabis to be here. I think the tax is just the beginning. If you guys knew on the prior meeting, there will be an open public forum for this to inform the people of the benefits of this industry and the benefits of its medicinal uses as well. So the fact that, you know, as a community, we're open-minded to introduce an industry like this to Calexico and maybe benefit in the future of its revenues and to benefit the better of the city, I think it's great where we're going with this. So I just want to let you know that I am for this, and hopefully we can get it, you know, going as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. Mr. Benjamin Horton.
Ben Horton, Calexico, California. In reference to this establish of a tax, I hope that we will look at, and if I'm not mistaken, it has to go out to the voters for the tax. I hope that you will not make this a tax for the general fund, but specifically dedicate the tax, because if you do this, you're gonna need more law enforcement for other activities will crop up. You're gonna need the staff in order to administrate this particular tax and how it's given out. And if I'm not mistaken, if you have a tax, a general tax, it requires 50+1. But if you have a tax that says that we're gonna use this money for the police department, for certain other industry, it requires 2/3. I hope that in the consideration that if you do move forward with this, you will look forward to making this a tax that will be specifically for what it's going to be meant for. And we won't go into the issue like we had the Measure H, we had the spirit, but yet it was a general fund item. That meant that it could be used for whatever the need might be. Now, if you're going to move forward to put a tax on, let's say, a sales tax, you should make sure that this tax is meant to help to move the city forward, well, like the police department, certain industries that are gonna be needed in order to administrate and also to police this new industry that we're bringing into Calexico. With that, you'll find that there'll be more of a positive feeling for it, but yet the requirements is more 2/3 versus 50+1. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horton.
Mr. Kim?
Mr. Kim.
I knew it. I just knew it. Did we miss our invocation? We did, huh?
Thank you.
Well-
It looks like editor from the council, they wish to see me. They're happy to see me here.
We are happy to see you
Yes,
guys.
I know. Don't worry, I'm gonna be more open to make you guys happier. Okay. First of all, these important issues put it into the special meeting to make decision. How our council members' irresponsibility to transparency for the community. I see big impact on the community, and the council making decision in a way like a rush out. I was speaking with someone else, the person says same things. How sneaky council, they making a lot of important decision without to let the people know. And the other one is, last meeting, I believe last Wednesday, in front of me, one of the little girl with the grandmother sitting down, and they were talking about this marijuana tax, and girls turned around to grandmother said, council making marijuana tax for the money? Oh, that's our kid in this community. And when I was leaving, one of the couples, wife met and husband said, we have several kids in the home. You should go to talk. He said, oh, it's too rushed, it's too late. It's how our council member making this kind of decision and sneaky around. And same time, they said, did they go to church? I think they have got different type of God. It's a big impact on the community. And I know you guys, the council approved the marijuana business in the city, but I'm worrying about the dispensaries coming in to make our kids dealing with the marijuana for nothing, almost like a candy. I'm afraid with this because they have a sector say the test. So they're gonna make we're gonna test it. We're testing the marijuana quality like wineries, testing rooms. And Mr. Horton was mentioning about the money. Actually, marijuana we're approving here, we're gonna have a more cost about our law enforcement to make sure we have our safety, our community controls. Actually, the money comes in to go. We need to spend more money on that. Why are we jeopardizing our community for that? I know several council members, they have a favor. Oh, one of the teachers couple, they told me they have 2 ex-teachers as a shame for the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Any other comments on the issue? Anybody willing to speak on the item? Ms. Robert.
When the cannabis industry decided to come in, was it dispensaries were not going to be allowed, right?
That's correct. The city council has not approved the dispensaries.
Right, that's what we were aware of.
That's correct. That's correct. It's going to take a vote from this council to include dispensaries. No, that's not in our current thought. It's not, yes. No, for this concern right now, yes.
Cultivation, manufacturing,
Factory.
distribution, and transport.
Okay, is there any comments on this subject? on this?
I have some comments. Where do I start? Because I do have a few, just because of the people that came up and spoke on the issue. And first of all, the reason we're having this meeting was because there was a mistake and it wasn't put on the last agenda. Is that correct?
It was on last agenda.
Okay. So, all right. So basically, it's brought back. Obviously, there's a sensitive matter, and that's why it has to be brought back, because it has to go to the ballot in order to be able to be taxed. As far as the monies for the cannabis industry and the monies that'll come into the city, that could range anywhere from $1 million a year to, I don't know, $10 million a year, whatever it is, however the industry grows. Which, and I'll touch a little bit more on Mr. Kim's comments, but basically, I also had that same idea in the beginning. I figured, you know, I thought the money should be split maybe 4 ways, with police 25%, fire 25%, parks, and then maybe 25% going to a general fund. As I got more information, it looks like the state of California, cities that are going to allow a cannabis ordinance, or that have allowed a cannabis, there is going to be about 25% of approximately, I think, $20 billion industry that the state of California is going to get monies from. That 25% of that money is going to go to somehow back to the communities that are allowing the ordinances to go back to their public safety in forms of grants and all kinds of those things. So there will be some money that trickles down to the cities and the counties that are allowing it. As far as earmarking it, I think that at the end of the day, the fund that's really hurting is the general fund. I think everybody knows that. I do agree that somehow some of that is going to go to hopefully police and fire, and however the council decides on dispersing those funds. But as far as completely earmarking it for one or the other, I mean, I guess, like I said, that's a council decision. I feel that the general fund's the one that needs the help right now. And with Kim's comments, I just want to say, Mr. Kim, this is just another day with your comments that you're saying. We had a informational forum not too long ago. You weren't there. Whatever you're saying, I truly believe that it's ignorance. Please read about it. Please learn about it. See the medical aspect that people, you know, even doctors are completely coming around to saying somehow, you know, there has to be some medical benefits from cannabis, whether you smoke it, whether you eat it, whatever you do. Secondly, we need to understand, I think everybody, this just comes down to, like everything, doing your homework, reading up on it, and I think it's important for everybody to understand that Prop 64 passed at a state level, whether I like it or not. And speaking about whatever God if I have a different God, no, I don't. But the government, you know, whatever the government does, I mean, we can't stop it. Basically, the only thing I think, common sense wise, the council is doing is looking at this Prop 64 and saying, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to just let other cities benefit from the taxing of it? Because it's going to happen. The Senate is just passing a bill right now where even if the city said we don't allow dispensaries and we don't want them in the city of El Centro, or the county now that passed it as well, and the city of Imperial is also passing it, they can come deliver to this city, and guess where the taxes go? Over there. So this is not, I think people need to understand, this is not about being up here and making decisions is not always easy, because sometimes you fight against your ethics or your morals. But I think everybody's thinking common sense wise. This is here, whether you like it or not. Is Calexico going to stay in the sidelines and not benefit from these monies and come to its employees again and say, hey guys, guess what? We need another cut because we need money. And guess what the employees say? Well, how come you guys didn't tax the marijuana? It's here anyways. It's just common sense. I think that's what's going on. We no longer want to be a city that's last. I think that right now we need to make sure that we tax it, and that's what we're talking about right now. Only tax. It already passed the cultivation and everything think a year ago or more than a year ago. Right now, basically, all we're saying is, if we pass this, we're saying the city needs to benefit from the cannabis industry and be able to tax it. If we don't pass it, guess what? It's here anyways, and we're not gonna get money. I mean, it's very simple. I know some people come up here and want to complicate things, but sir, I invite you. We're gonna have another forum. Please, if you know, go to the forums. Don't just come here and want to be on Spectrum so people can see you and try and, you know, win an election. Go to these things and please educate yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Red. Mr. Hodge, any comments?
No, I think
Okay.
let's get this
All right.
done. It's inevitable.
Mr. Escobar? Excuse me. No, excuse me. We're not gonna start yelling.
I have no comments, and I make a motion that we approve the item.
Second.
Okay, I just want to read the measure. It's going to be on the ballot so that Mr. Horton and those are in the audience can hear. Shall the city of Calexico adopt an ordinance enacting a tax on cannabis business up to $25 per square foot of space utilized and up to 15% of gross receipt from the sale of cannabis and related products, generating approximately $700,000 annually for general service such as police, emergency response, parks, youth senior services, street repair, until ended by the voters. So that is exactly how we're going to utilize that money. The voters of Calexico will decide whether or not we're going to have this taxation.
50 plus
50
one.
plus one.
So the citizens of Calexico would decide. We'll leave it up to the voters of Calexico.
And we need to make sure it's up to. We have to charge that amount because we need to be competitive with what other cities are charging, obviously. But there is wiggle room there, so we can basically negotiate down the road.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor of accepting?
Aye.
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 Aye. 4-0, carried. Thank you. Thank you. Having no other business, we're going to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
There's a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.